All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for our Wednesday night United Nations call. Neta Irwin's in the house. Woo-hoo-hoo! We are so excited to have Neta Irwin with us this evening. What a pleasure. What an honor. Neta, we have multiple nations on this call tonight that are going to be jumping on momentarily as they all do sort of at the same time. But we are ecstatic to get to hear from you. For some of you that are brand new to the business, Neta Irwin is in our upline. She's one of our great grandmothers. I don't know if you want us to call you that, but she's a pioneer. We'll say that. She is a pioneer in our upline and has truly been a very big part of the culture that exists in our Arbonne family. And not only has she been a very integral part of the culture that's been created, but I always like to tell people that Neta Irwin is the reason why God made Oklahoma in our it's a country music song, and I thought that was quite appropriate. But seriously, Neta started so many years ago. How many years have you been in now, Neta?
28, working on 29.
There you have it. Oh my goodness. And you even look 29 years old. It doesn't seem possible, but that right there is the face of an Arbonne girl that has kept her youth. Would you not agree how gorgeous Neta Irwin is? You know, that was one of the first things that I noticed when I came into the business, is looking at the different women in this business and how gorgeous they are. And Neta, you definitely have carried that torch for sure. Neta's built an incredible business over the years, and she has mentored upon thousands. She has, I don't even know if she even knows how many NVPs, RVPs are in her entire success line, but she is one of the representations of the biggest and most successful of all of Arbonne, and we get her tonight. So Neta, we are excited to hear from you. Thank you so much again for joining us, and I'm going to just let you take it away and just share with us all about the wisdom, the journey, the vision, the culture, everything that you want to just lay on our hearts tonight. Lay it down. We're ready for you. Love you.
All right. Thank you, Miss Tammy, and thank you for those kind words, because I got to tell you, you never get too old to hear someone say those kind things about you. And I'm looking in the camera going, I should have gotten on a little earlier and looked at what this is going to look like. I think I combed my hair, I'm not sure, but it's my pleasure to be on here. And Tammy, right back at you, girlfriend. I've always admired you and your upline. You know, this whole success line that started with Martha and Carlita, and you know, it very near and dear to my heart. And I know I don't have to be the one to tell you that you've got the creme de la creme as your leadership, and take great pride in that, because I've been around a long time and I've watched a lot of leaders grow, and these gals know what they're doing, and their integrity and their long-term vision for this company has been unshakable. And I'm thrilled, Miss Tammy, and just so appreciate everything that you do. And I saw Miss Carlita pop on there a little bit, then she popped back off. So I'm singing your praises too, sweetheart. And Miss Lindsay is on there. There's Carlita. Good, familiar faces, because you know what? It's just amazing to me. I don't recognize all of the faces. And there's Beth. Hi, Beth. And Christine's on mute, but I'm seeing some faces now that I know, because for 28 years, in the early days, in, you know, way back when, we all knew each other and we were all on the same calls. Now we're so large that we all have our individual nation calls, and then, like, you guys are so smart, we do group things as often as we can. But that's the flip side of growth and expansion and long-term success with Arbonne, is that the day will come. Enjoy these times when you all know each other and you can get in each other's living rooms, because that day does come to where you're like, there's so many faces on here I don't recognize. But I just want to take you on a little journey. And Miss Tammy said 25, 30 minutes, and I'm going to be respectful of that. because I know it's late for you also. If you're East Coast gals, it's really late for you all. But I just want to take you on a little journey. I want to paint a vision, paint a picture of what you're involved with this company and this legacy that our founder has left for us, and this culture. And I know that your leaders do this very same thing, but I want to come to you from my heart and from my perspective of what it was like back then, and where I was at on this roller coaster ride when I didn't know what was going on, which maybe today I don't know much about what's going on either. So be grateful that it's a learning process. I certainly didn't have a clue about what I was getting involved with 28 years ago, but I will tell you one thing. I am on my knees quite frequently, thanking God that I said yes to this business 28 years ago, that no matter how hard it got, and let me tell you, it was tough. It was a really, really tough time, not only in my life, it was a tough time in Arbonne. It was a 10-year-old company. Now we're 38 years old. So when I started, the product line was minuscule. I think we had maybe 15, 20 products. I can't even really remember back that far. And it was a tough time in my life. But as God often does, when he shuts a window, he opens a door, and Arbonne fell in my lap when I left my corporate job because of health issues. And for those of you that know me, you know that story, but unfortunately it's the same story. It doesn't ever change, but it helps to know that we all come from a certain spot. Whatever's going on in our life, that's what we're searching for. We're searching for solutions. We're searching for hope. We're searching for a way to better our lives, to help our families, just to be a better part of the world that we live in, making a greater contribution in every aspect that we can. And that's where I found myself 28 years ago. And sometimes it's a little sad for me to go back, but then I flip immediately into gratitude and humility. And I am just so blessed and so grateful for this journey. And it was something that I really would have never thought that I would be doing. But it offered everything that I was looking for. So for those of you that are on the call that are new, you're experiencing the same thing I experienced 28 years ago. Blind faith, we called it ignorance on fire. I think we still say that from time to time. And who trained me, because there was no Tammy Clinton, there was no Carlita Nelson, Beth Gallardi, there wasn't anyone in Oklahoma that was really doing anything in Arbonne. So what I did when I decided that I was going to jump in and really try to build a business, because I desperately wanted to find a home-based business, and I desperately needed to replace my corporate income. And I could not work in corporate America anymore. I had to be in control of my life because of my health issues. I couldn't lift the briefcases and I couldn't do what the other world required of me to do. And I needed that space. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I needed that space. I needed that weight off of my shoulders. But yet the flip side of that was I needed to replace that income. I went through a divorce and lost my job and started over, lost everything. So when Arbonne came along, it didn't really matter how scary it was. It didn't really matter how little I knew. What mattered was that it had so many things that I desperately needed. Stay at home, be my own boss. I had no idea what that was going to look like, but it looked good on paper when I read the marketing plan and I decided to jump in. And from there, you talk about scary and you talk about insecurities and being put on the spot and getting out of your comfort zone. I had to get a book, and the book was called Being the Best You Can Be in MLM by John K. Lynch, and he's since passed away, but he changed my life. Petter changed my life by creating Arbonne, our founder. But this book taught me how to have a meeting. It taught me that I needed to do them regardless of whether anyone showed up or not. And trust me, no one showed up in the beginning. I mean, this would have been a full house for us if 2 or 3 people had shown up. But I read that book, and something on those pages, and I consider that also divine, something on those pages said, dig deeper, Don't be afraid. Step out. Have a meeting. If they don't show up, they don't show up. If you offer it to your family and they say no, go on to the next one. That was in print on the book. Some will, some won't, some what. That is embedded in my mind. And that is how I started the business. I enrolled my sister, and then I enrolled some of the people that I had been, working with over the past 10, 15 years. And it just started one person at a time. And I can remember sitting in my living room full of fear and apprehension about what do I do next? I'm not qualified to do this. Will it work? That question went across my mind 24/7. Have I offered something to people that might not work? Anybody ever had that thought go through your mind? Not anymore, huh? We have too many examples of insane success and lives being changed inside and out, healthy inside and out. We didn't even have nutrition back then. Look at what we have to offer now. Look at the symbols of success that you are surrounded by. Look at what could happen in your lives if you stay true to the basics and you make a decision that no matter how tough it gets, how insecure you feel, how ill-qualified you feel to build this business, you stay focused on what you do bring to the table and what your gift is, and focus on that and hone those skills, and you can and will be successful in this business. Because my fear was so great. Public speaking made me want to throw up. I remember going to have a meeting. I would go in the bathroom, which for those of you that know me, I do that a lot. I would go in the bathroom and I'd say a prayer. And I'd say, God, please put the words in my mouth, on my tongue, that you want me to say. Let this be about them. Don't let this be about me and my fear of speaking in front of people. And you know what? It worked. So I jumped out there and started enrolling people. And I used to, like I said, when we'd sit down in my little living room, and at that time, it was a very small living room, and we would talk about the future. Now, keep in mind, we were talking about the future, and we were talking about a vision that we didn't have. It was all hypothetical, but it was all coming from our desire and our needs, not anything different than what you can do right now. And a lot of people say, hey, I don't have the success. I can't talk about my vision. You talk about your why, because that's about why you came in the business, but you can talk about your vision from day one, because your vision is about the team you have right now, or the team you're building. That's your vision, ladies and gentlemen. Where do you want to go? What do you want to create with this business? With a team, that vision is constantly growing and expanding. That's all about you, and that's up to you to have the courage to paint that picture and create that vision. And I would sit in my living room, and maybe I was a district. I think I went district and area the first year I came in 1990. And then in 1991, we were a region. We had brought in enough people to promote to region. And then 3 years later, we were a nation. And it just evolved. But I remember in the early days as a district manager saying, we don't have any of these white Mercedes right now, but there will be a day that when you pull up to my house, they will be lined up. They will extend way out. And we would all laugh. Well, then when that first white Mercedes was in my driveway, no one was laughing anymore, and everyone was embracing this opportunity and saying, you know what? If Neta Irwin can do it, I can do it. And you want your team to look at you and say, if Lindsay can do it, I can do it. If Tammy can do it, I can do it. If Kim can do it, I can do it. If Christy can do it, I can do it. That's the vision you want to paint for your team. That, hey, I fail forward every day, but I'm in this deal and I'm in to stay. And I'm going to win, and we're going to win together, because together we can move mountains. And that's what a vision is. A vision is bringing mamas home so they can have their babies and be at home. That's your vision. A vision is helping people say, hey, we can make enough income here that we can substantially help people change their lives with a little bit. That's your vision. And that's what we had. And we created something. And I pray every night that we don't lose this, ladies, because we're all part of the same thing. Technology makes us so much better. There's so many more things that we can do with technology. But I want to plead, don't lose that connection that you have with one another, that you can create with your team. It's so important. We stayed together during very difficult times when we probably should have all quit. I will tell you a little story. I was an RVP for 1 week, and the CEO of the company back then called me and said, someone sent some product back, Neta, and you're no longer an RVP. Now, I had already received the flowers, and I had already told everyone we were already celebrating. But guess what? The title went back, but we stayed together, and I'll never forget. We went to an MTS in Vail, Colorado. It was Martha, Sonia, me, and a couple of other gals. My memory loses. But on that trip, we decided, because we were a team, and we felt the pain together, but we also felt the fire together. And we will get this back. And let me tell you something. We not only got it back, but we did not stop. And we got them to RVP, and then we worked to get a nation, and then we worked to help nations promote out. So all of the ups and downs and all of the things that you go through, it's all part of the journey. And it makes you who you are. It made me stronger. And I will tell you, when that news came in, I was standing in my kitchen, and I slid down the wall. I was devastated. But fast forward 28 years, and look where we're at. Look at the lives that have been changed, because I didn't let that little bump in the road, which seemed like a mountain in the road, stop us. It didn't stop us. We came together as a team. So when you do your meetings, don't forget how important that building that relationship and getting to know your team and helping them feel that they're part of something that's bigger than themselves, and that we're all doing this together so we can all get ahead. That's what it was. And that's that camaraderie and that synergy that you want to build. Use your technology. Use your Zooms like this. I mean, we've got people from probably all over the country, maybe the world, on the Zoom tonight. There's nothing that will ever replace that. Always going to be powerful. But create, I don't care if you're a district, an area, create those little moments that you can get together in person and be together and look into each other's eyes and feel each other's hearts. That's so important, because it will catapult you over the difficult times. And, you know, the changes in the business throughout the years, I don't know how many CEOs I've been through. I think 7, maybe 8. And my philosophy's always been, and I've always said it to my team, let corporate do what they do, we'll do what we do. Keep your hands on the plow and look straight ahead. Don't look back. Just keep moving, ladies. Let other people do what they do. You do what you do, and stay true to the basics. So the ups and downs, the vision, your why is so important. It's a personal thing. You can always share that with people, but your vision is profound, and that's what people want to hear. I like to hear people's why, but when someone talks about their vision and it includes me, that gets my attention, and I'm in that, because that's what's important. And where we're going to be, I can't even imagine what this company will look like in the next decade. I cannot. I think it's beyond my comprehension to think. And what that says to me is that I'm not finished yet. You're just beginning. We have so much work to do. And when I say work, I mean work. It will be worth every compromise, every sacrifice, every struggle that you have. It will be worth it, ladies and gentlemen, when you are successful and you create the kind of success that you want for you and your family. And you know, all of those incremental successes along the way, I'm going to tell you my honest, heartfelt feeling is that gratitude is the greatest result of, or I should say, success is the greatest result of gratitude. And sometimes along this journey, and I'm guilty, I've been there, I've done it. I compare myself to other people from time to time, and I think, well, my success is not quite as good as Carlita's or Tammy's or Lynn. You know, they're moving faster, they're doing more. But when I stop and I think about my level of gratitude, that is the greatest success in the world for me, to say, Neta, be grateful for where you're at. Be grateful for every little incremental success that you have, that your team has. But always strive to work and be the best version of yourself. Work hard to be the best version, but work hard at your skill, at your trade. And that's selling, sponsoring, training. Work hard at that and do it now, because I truly believe in the next decade, this company will be a multi-billion-dollar business. I truly believe that. I believe that my 8th or my 9th, I'm not sure which one our new CEO is, but I believe that our new owners will take us into another plane and another level of botanicals, which means our product and our business will continue to grow exponentially in a way that we most likely have never seen before. And I want you to embrace that and to believe in it and to move forward through the transition of it, because that's what we do as leaders. We step up and we step out, and we step into the middle of the mess and the controversy and the messiness, because we know what comes on the other side is phenomenal things. It has happened that way in my life for the past 28 years, that every what I thought could possibly be a setback has always been a comeback, and every change in our business has brought us to another level, which has created even greater opportunities for the masses. And that keeps me up late at night, ladies and gentlemen. The opportunity to be a part of a noble business that gives us an opportunity to change, help change other people's lives every day. Now you stop and you think about that, and you think about the business you're involved in, and you think about the fact that when you develop your talents and you give your best to the world and to each other, the end result is that everyone's life is enhanced. And it will be enhanced way past our time on this earth. And what a legacy to leave your children, your parents, to be able to take care of your parents, to be able to do the things that you always thought was a dream, was a glimmer that it probably would never hope. I know one of the greatest rewards in Arbonne, over the best, over the money, over the accolades, over all of the things, the trips, everything, was the fact that when my mother suffered a severe, totally debilitating stroke and was lying in a bed for over 7 years, because of Arbonne and because of a simple 3 letters, yes, 28 years ago, I had the means to provide that care for her. And she left this earth and lived her remaining years with dignity. And you know, the greatest gift ever that I've been given was to take care of her. And you know, they say a society is judged by how we treat our elderly. So in a nutshell, ladies, hey, Christine, you look beautiful, sweetheart. I am just euphorically proud of you. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just said it. But I'm extremely proud of you and what you're doing and what you're bringing to Arbonne, because you are the future of this company. Carlita knows it. Tammy and I know it. You are the future, and you get to design that future. So I just want to say, live this race, run this race, but go for it now. Put on your put on your work clothes, put on your boots, and get in the trenches and go to work. Time goes by so quickly. 28 years and it was like a vapor on. And I don't regret one thing. I would go back and do it all over again. I would. To be able to spend this time with you and watch you guys soar, I get emotional. But anyway, Tammy, I hope that helps, sweetheart. And that was from my heart. Just always know who you are and expect the best and set your intentions to be the best version of yourself. And don't worry about what the rest of the world's doing horizontally. Look vertical and move on. You can do this. I believe in you. I'm going to turn it back to you, Tammy.
Thank you, Neta. And you are such the evidence of becoming an Arbonne lifer. And I had a moment while you were speaking, Neta, and I hope this doesn't start the ugly cry, but I'm sure it's going to affect Neta as much as it's affecting me right now. But Carlita has been in the business 15 years. So that means everybody on this call has been in the business less than 15 years. Carlita's been in the business 15 years. Neta, when you had been in the business for 15 years and had gone through the ups and downs, the typical doubt, is this going to work, all of that, when you had been in the business for 15 years, a girl named Carlita Nelson said yes to this business. And this right here is the power of one. This was Carlita's group at GTC. 15 years you had been in Arbonne, never quitting, never giving up. And look at the lives that you have impacted because of your power to stay. Thank you. It's just not even enough. Look at these people.
That takes me to my knees. That takes me to my knees, Carlita.
The evidence of Arbonne lifer right there, girls and guys. It's Arbonne lifer. You stay even when you don't know that it's working. You just keep your feet moving forward, because on your 15th year, that one person can say yes, and this is the power of one. So, wow. And
I pray that in your 15th year in the business, you get a Carlita Nelson, right, Tammy?
Or that's Tammy exactly right. Absolutely.
That's right. Keep digging. They're out there. Keep searching. You will find them. Make it about them, not about you, and you'll find them.
Exactly right. Well, we love you, Neta Irwin. Thank you so much for your time and just shedding your vision bigger than life with us. And you have truly impacted me, and I know probably everybody on here, over 100 people are listening in on this, and people on Facebook Live and so forth. But I'm going to tell you, I felt like you were having a conversation with me. And when you speak, you have that ability, that connection with everyone. And I'm sure every single person could say the same thing, that you were speaking straight to them. And so thank you so much for pouring into our life tonight. And just know how much you are loved, respected, and appreciated. We love you.
Thank you. And I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Good night, everybody.